guys, GAMINGwithMELKOR here, bringing you another Clash Royale deck spotlight video. So that's right guys, another Clash Royale video, and it's going to be another deck spotlight. So let's just quickly get that donation in over there, and let's go have a look at the deck that we are going to be using today. So guys, this is a completely new deck coming in with an average elixir cost of 3.0 and includes one of my favourite cards, the Hog Rider. That's right guys, it involves the Hog Rider combined with the beautiful Ice Golem. This deck is all about attack, attack, attack. Now we do have the Inferno Tower in there for defense, and we do have a few defensive troops as well. But the main purpose of this deck really is just to pile on so much pressure onto an opponent they just can't react to it. And with all the troops being relatively low elixir cost, this is fantastic at doing that. So guys, the deck itself consists of the Hog Rider, we have the Fireball, we have the Archers, we have the Ice Golem, we have the Inferno Tower, we have the Mega Minion, we have the Ice Spirit, and we have the Zap spell. So let's have a look at how this deck has been performing. And as you can see, the deck has been performing very well in both challenges and also in Legendary Arena. So we're just going to go through a few replays here and see how this deck actually performs. So this is going to be the first one that we're going to complete. As you can see, we do have the Hog Rider and the Ice Golem in our starting hand. And as always guys, remember to wish that opponent good luck. Now the good thing about this deck is that obviously it's only 3 elixir, and that's exactly what we want. So we're going to let that elixir build up, wait to see if our opponent does anything. Now he drops down his bomber. Because he does that, we're going to drop down the Ice Golem, we're going to drop down the Hog Rider, and then we're going to drop down the Archers down the opposite side. We're going to zap all those there we go. And we're going to do some serious damage on this tower. Unfortunately, our opponent does use that log spell, so at this point we are slightly behind, as we just completely ignored our opponent's attack. At this point we are about level for elixir as well, so not a bad trade-off to start with. So we're just going to let that elixir build up before we decide on what play we're going to make next. As you can see, our opponent is doing just the same. So we're going to drop down the Ice Golem, our opponent then drops down his Horde on the opposite side, and we're going to utilise the Fireball here to take that out. But as you can see, we are going to take out that tire, combining our Hog Rider with our Ice Golem. So down goes our opponent's first tower. Our Giant is going to start doing some serious work to ours, but at this point guys, we are doing some serious damage. Now that Hog Rider and that Ice Golem have managed to take out a good chunk of that tower. So at this point we are looking quite good. And as you can see, we do have that elixir advantage, even though our opponent does have the Ice Wizard on the table. I'm just going to completely ignore that push from our opponent there. I'm going to drop down my Ice Golem, my Hog Rider, and the Archers here, try and do a little push on this Crown Tower. As you can see, I then drop down the Mega Minion, and I have my Ice Spirit ready if need be. As you can see, our opponent drops down those Fire Spirits. Our Mega Minion gets one hit on that tower, getting it down to 793 HP. So guys, at this point we are still looking quite good, and we're just going to let our elixir build back up. When it gets to 10 elixir, we're just going to drop down that Inferno just for a bit of defense here, and just so we're not wasting that much elixir, because we don't have many offensive troops here. So we're going to get the Ice Golem down here after we've utilised the Zap spell on these troops. There we go. We're going to drop the Ice Golem, the Hog Rider, the Ice Spirit, and the Mega Minion. We're going to zap those troops there. There we go. And as you can see, we're going to get a very solid 3-1 victory just like that. Had the Fireball on standby just in case. So a very confident and a very successful 3-1 victory there guys. And like I said, this deck is all about pressure, pressure, pressure. Get that Ice Golem down, get that Hog Rider pushing that Ice Golem up the front there. Obviously you've got that bit of buffer there for the 2 elixir cost, which is fantastic. It obviously freezes it or slows its opponents down when it explodes, and it does take out those hordes as well, which I find very, very good. So the next one obviously was an opponent using the Golem deck with the Miner, which was very interesting, so we're just going to watch this one next. And then we'll see if we've got time for one more. So you can see we've got the Hog Rider in our starting hand, and we have the Archers, but we don't have the Ice Golem. So as always, wish your opponent good luck, and it's always nice to receive it back as well. So let's just wait to see how we're going to do. So we're just going to drop the archers in the back so we're not wasting our elixir. I hate to see elixir go to waste. That's just me being picky. But I just really, really hate that. So I'm going to drop the Hog Rider at the back and then I'm going to drop the Ice Golem in front of it to allow the Hog Rider to push the Ice Golem onto that tower. Unfortunately, obviously, it does go for that. So I've got the Zap spell ready here. There we go. Bit late, unfortunately, on my own part, but we are going to do some serious damage to that tower, having that Hog Rider and that Archer take that tower all the way down to nearly 400 HP. Obviously, we drop down the Archers there to take out that Golem, combining that with the Inferno Tower, which do quite a good job. Now, we do have that mana to contend with here, but our archers will make short work of that. And at this point, guys, we are in a very good position, hardly losing any HP on any of our towers, and we do have a slight elixir advantage as well. Those archers are going to start to go to work on that tower. And we're just going to let our elixir reset. Now, our opponent drops down the golem on the far side. As soon as he does that, I know he's short on elixir, so I drop down my Hog Rider and my Mega Minion to take out that tower as quickly as possible. Probably didn't need to drop the Mega Minion, but I did. So I'm now going to drop the Inferno Tower down here. Poor placement by me there. A couple of bad misclick there, unfortunately. Utilise the Zap spell there as well, just to obviously stop those archers from taking out so quickly. And then we're going to obviously get that Crown Tower down to 2300 by taking minimal damage on our tower as well. Obviously, we have slightly less elixir at this point, but still we're in a very, very strong position. Now, our opponent's going to drop his baby dragon in the back here and start a little push with that mana down this side. So I'm not too worried about this point. I'm just going to drop down my Hog Rider, combining with an Ice Golem and the archers and the Ice Spirit there, just to try and take out this Crown Tower. Our opponent tries to zap it, but I'm not overly worried. I know I'm going to lose the one tower, fully expected to do that. Obviously, the Hog Rider compiled with the archers and that Mega Minion takes down that Crown Tower, again for another solid 3-1. When our opponent tries a little push like that, instead of obviously trying to defend it, I find it's much easier with this deck just to counter and go straight down the opposite side. So let's just have a look at one more replay here. Again, obviously our opponent does have an interesting deck here with the Hog Rider, the Barbarians, and the Princess, and the Goblin Barrel as well. As always, wish your opponent good luck, let that elixir build up, and let's wait to see what our opponent decides to do. Obviously our opponent hasn't done anything straight off the bat, which is always infuriating, but I don't like to play first with these cards because unfortunately they're not the strongest and it's easy to counter. So I'm going to decide, obviously, I'm not willing to wait all day. Our opponent drops down his Hog Rider, so we drop down our Golem, followed by the Hog Rider, followed by the Mega Minion. Our opponent then obviously decides to do that. I completely waste my Zap spell, but obviously the Hog Rider combined with the Mega Minion are going to make short work of that tower, taking it out very quickly and giving us a 1 tower to the lead within the first minute of the game. Obviously, we completely ignored our opponent's attacks, so we did get our tower down to 1000 HP, but we are in the lead and we do have the elixir advantage. So I drop down my archers in the back here. I know obviously I'm going to take some serious damage thanks to those fire spirits, but I'm not too worried about that because I now know I have the elixir advantage. I drop down the Ice Golem in the front, followed by the Hog Rider, the Ice Spirit's going down as a bit of a backup, and then I'm going to drop the Mega Minion as well. So as you can see, because of that, we are able to combine with that Zap spell. We're going to take down this second tower, giving us a solid 2-0 advantage lead at this point. Well, obviously our tower is down to 99 HP, but again, I know we're in a good position here. So I'm just going to let that elixir build up before deciding what to actually do and to see what our opponent's going to do as well. And as you can see, he's not going to do much, so our opponent does drop down his Barbarians and his Hog Rider. So I drop down my Archers on the opposite side, followed by the Hog Rider as well. I'm not too worried there. Our opponent then drops the Fire Spirits. I know obviously the Hog Rider and Barbarians are going to do some serious damage to this tower, but that's why I put that Mega Minion on defense. And as you can see, my Hog Rider is just going to town on our opponent's Crown Tower. He finally drops down his Princess, but by that point I've got the tower down to 196, and one Fireball here will win us the battle. Our opponent obviously sends his own Fireball over it, so he obviously gets that one tower. Another solid 3-1 victory. And that's what this deck is all about. It's quick and fast attacks. Getting the Hog Rider, excuse me, getting the Hog Rider behind the Ice Golem and backing that up with either the Archers or the Mega Minion, having both the Zap or the Ice Spirit on standby to take out those lowest cost troops that are going to be there to obviously try and slow them down. Fireballs there to take out the Elixir Collectors and any obviously large airborne troops as well. Absolutely fantastic at that. The Inferno Tower is there purely for defensive purposes, taking out your golems, your giants, etc. and things along those lines as well. Obviously, I've got no Hog Riders to donate there, unfortunately. So, guys, that's the deck. Probably currently my most favourite deck actually at this point. I may try changing it up a bit, but I'm still really enjoying this deck. So guys, that deck consists of the Hog Rider, the Fireball, the Archers, the Ice Golem, the Inferno Tower, Mega Minion. We have the Ice Spirits, and we have the Zap spells. That's right, guys. So that's the deck. If you like what you see, comment below and let me know. If you've not subscribed, guys, do me a big favour and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you gamers next time. Take care.